Hey guys, welcome out to the shop today. We have a restoration video that we're going to go through. I've had a hand plane sitting around the shop. This is a Stanley No. 7. It's been sitting around the shop for quite a while, and it's just been gathering dust. Today I want to go ahead and get it back into a user mode so that I can start actually using it. I had a project recently where I really wanted to join a lawn board and wasn't able to because it's not ready to be used. So I want to go ahead and get that fixed up so that I can use it the next time. So first thing that we need to do is go ahead and get everything disassembled on it and wipe down first so you can actually see what you're working with. So what we have here is a Stanley No. 7. It has the high knob on the front of it, which means that it's one of the newer ones. So it's not rare or anything. Here is the iron. It's got a little bit of rust, not too bad. No pitting or anything like that. We can pop the screw loose, hopefully. Maybe a little bit more. And then we can wiggle it down, or we can spin it around first, and then wiggle it down to the hole so we can slide it apart. So I've tried to use it before, and it doesn't work out very well. It's not very sharp by any means. So as you can tell, there is the cutting edge. But everything is in relatively good condition. And we'll take the frog off of here. Well, let's take the front screw off first. Whew, that's nice and gooey. Come off. So here is the look at the plane. Very little Japanning left on it. You can see there's some right there in the very front, but it's very spotted. And then obviously underneath the frog, it's usually always perfect. So you can see there's some Japanning left on it, but not enough. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this into the sandblaster, and we'll sandblast the main surface of this right here in the bed, and we'll sandblast it, tape it up, and then we'll get it primed and painted. And I just got done pulling the plane bed out of the blast cabinet, and it turned out really good. There was only a couple spots right in the edges mainly, and right down here where the frog sits, that it was the Japanning was still pretty good, and it didn't really want to come off. But as you can see, all of the Japanning is now off. So what we'll go ahead and do is tape this off, and then we'll get a coat or two of paint on there. So I've gotten the plane all taped up, and you don't want all this extra blue tape up here. because you won't be able to spray it very good. So what I got is a fresh blade right here, and I'm just going along the very top edge of the hand plane on the sides, and I'm just skirting over it and making sure that the blue tape is flush with the sides. So as you can see, this is one side, and you can see that there's no blue tape right here along the whole edge. I've got some of the side right here showing, but that's okay because we're going to get that sanded down anyway. So we're going to flip this over, and we're going to get this side done as well. So we are about to hit up the plane with some paint, and what I'm using is some engine enamel. This stuff I've just discovered, and I've been using it a lot. Used it on the transmission. You can see it back here in the background, and the paint holds up fantastic. So the difference between this and like a Rust-Oleum that has for the engine paint is that this has ceramic in it, so it makes it harder. So if you bump it, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect it. So I'm just going to get this sprayed on. Go in one direction first, and then let all that dry, then come back different direction, and try not to let any runs happen whatsoever. So I'm gonna let that dry right there. Let the paint kind of fill in where it's gonna go. I don't want to put too much on at one time, or else it will really ruin the whole entire area. So we're just gonna let that go, and we'll work on some of the other pieces while we're waiting. Well, we're working on the hardware now. I had it all in this magnet tray, and we're gonna put it into my bucket right here, and we're gonna also put the frog and stuff like that in here as well. Lever, iron, chip breaker, oh backwards, iron, chip breaker, frog, all these will go in here. I don't have anything else, and we're gonna fill the bucket up with some Evaporust and let it do its job, and hopefully it'll be all de-rusted. So I needed a little bit of height down in this corner to cover up the frog, so I put a couple pieces of lumber underneath to get the water down that way. So we'll let this sit in here for a couple hours and let it do its job, and hopefully everything will be cleaned up. The one nice thing about using the Evaporust is that it won't affect any of the paint that's on anything. Went ahead and pulled all these out of the Evaporust, and it came extremely clean. All the brass looks great. The rods where everything was sitting all rusted up. This one was really bad right here, and it looks fantastic. Looks not brand new, but I mean it looks a lot better than it did. All of the little screws and everything are all de-rusted. We got the cap, chip breaker. Everything looks really good right now. Really happy how it turned out. So now we're going to go ahead and just do a little bit more touch-up cleanup work on these, and we'll start trying to put some of the stuff back together. The nice thing with the Evaporust doing it that way is that it leaves some of the Japanning and stuff back. Like you can see here, there's like kind of split right here between the Japanning and the metal. but it's very easy to use evaporust. If you've never used it, I highly suggest it. You put it in the solution, you leave it for a little while, you bring it out, spray it off with water or compressed air, wipe it down, and this is it. I haven't put any kind of oil or anything on there. It has like a protectant in the evaporust that helps so that your rust does not flash rust on as soon as you pull it out. So this is pretty much fresh out of the solution and dried. And then I've also went ahead and sanded the handles down, or the tote and the knob down, with 220 grit sandpaper. Got all the other lacquer or whatever off of it, and now I've resprayed it. So this looks fantastic now, and everything will be ready to be put back together. We gotta get the iron sharpened as well. Here is the plane mostly put together. We still have the iron chip breaker and cap to put on, but this is it. Before all of that is done, we have the iron getting ready to get sharpened. I'm letting the stone soak in some water. I love this stone. I've had it for a couple years now, and I use it a lot. But all the brass shined up very nice. All of the silver shined up nice on there. So I like the paint job of it. It really looks brand new. So I didn't do any paint on the frog, and that was on purpose. I didn't want to take all of the age of use out of it, and there's still quite a bit of Japanning on there, so I left the frog how it was and just repainted up the body. So right here you can see that there's some of the original color just matching this. This doesn't really matter right here because you need the edge to be perfect, and that's what's uniform in the sharpness. So this will eventually get all matching the same type. You can see we have a lot of material left to use. So when you're doing your sharpening, just make sure that your cutting edge is the main portion that's going to be perfect, because this will all get used up eventually. Alright, so now we've gotten our iron all sharpened up, and we can go ahead and install that into the body. And we got our lever cap, and putting this down, this is all still loose because when we took this off we had to take that screw out. So we will tighten this down. Loosen up the lever cap. And just see, might tighten this down just a hair more. And that should be good. So now we're going to go ahead and get some sandpaper set up, and we'll go ahead and get running over this bottom section to see if this is all flat. So right now I've got a piece of plywood down with some sandpaper. This is not the ideal way to do this, but this is such a large plane that this is the only real way that I'm able to do it. And I'm just going to be working it back and forth until I get a nice even coat on there. Make sure that your iron is not sticking out at the bottom at all. If it is, you'll ruin what you just did to sharpen it. So just make sure that it's backed out plenty. And we're just going to work it back and forth. Alright, so we just got done flattening out the bottom side of the plane. And now we're just going to go ahead and take it for a little test drive to see how well it does. So right now I'm just going to try to get all of my stuff set up top. We'll see how well this does. There we go. Now we're starting to get into the wood. Whoop. A little bit lighter. Oop, that might be too light. So light, I'm not even getting anything. Let's go a little bit deeper. So we've got some fairly light shavings coming out of there. They're all curled up, I can't even get them. These are probably not the lightest that you could probably get out of this thing, but it's pretty good. And it's very smooth. So I'm getting almost an entire pass as well with this, unless I get to that little dip in the lumber. But I mean, that's almost an entire pass right there. So that's really good. I'm really happy with how this hand plane turned out. So there it is, the Stanley Bailey number 7. Completely redone, except for the frog. Remember, we left the frog the same. There's the front side. I am really happy with how this turned out. It looks really good. I really like the paint that I used, which was that ceramic paint. It's new. It's new in my shop at least, and I really like it. It feels harder than the old acrylic paint that I would use, so it's nice having something in here that is a little bit tougher. The toe and knob look really nice now, and it still has some of the patina from where it's been used for many years before. So let me know what you guys think about this restoration and how you guys think it turned out. I really like it. I'm happy with how it is. It's a bigger joiner plane, which is good for any kind of shop. If you want to do longer boards, it works really good. Thanks for watching today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. If you guys are new, welcome to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, and remember, we post videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys on the next video.